waiting for the Facebook. Good evening, everybody. Welcome everyone here for another Allan Kardec Spiritist Group of New Zealand meeting. And tonight it is the last Wednesday of the month. We are having a lecture in English. Last month was in Portuguese, so this month we have a lecture in English. So welcome everybody that is physically here, also those who are virtually, welcome to this meeting. Very important, very blessing, many blessings that we'll be receiving this evening. We don't have many news, just old news, that our website is allankardec.org.nz, and it's been updated. We've put there our list of books for sale. That also helps, our expenses of this running this group. We also have books for lending as well. So all the list is there. If you like to buy or borrow one of these books, you can just send us an email, and one of us will bring that in a meeting, so you can come and collect it. Also, we have information about a service that we have been providing now, which is a fraternal assistance. If you like to meet up with one of the team here and have a chat about the activity that we offer, somebody that is going through difficulties physically, emotionally, we can have this chat as well. And it's all anonymous, okay? This is no need to be worried about disclosing your information. It's all safe with us, okay? And we also are still collecting names for people that are interested on the systematic study of Spiritism. It's a course that we provide here. We have a group already on the 3rd year doing on Monday. So if you're interested, put your name down, and whenever you get a certain number of people, we can start for this year. Due to COVID, people probably haven't been putting their names up, but we have a few names already up. So if you're interested, get in touch with us, send us an email, allankardecnz@gmail.com, or send us a message on Facebook or on Instagram as well, and we'll be able to give you some more information. Without further ado, if everybody put their phones on silent, please, just so we don't have any disruptions during this lecture. As always, we are going to start with inspirational reading, so we can get in the good set of frame of mind, and so we can start in having our initial prayer as well. So we are reading the Christian Agenda, a book that's been written by Chico Xavier, with the mediumship of Chico Xavier, a book by André Luiz. And this one is number 18, Useful Reminders. Do not continually ask for spiritual guidance. If you already have twopence worth of Christian concepts, then you understand enough to know what to do. Do not waste your energy trying to straighten out others by imposition. When we straighten ourselves out, we realize that the world is administered by divine wisdom, and that the obligation to cooperate continuously toward goodness is our fundamental duty. Do not blame the discarnate spirits for your failures in life's struggles. Not the rhythm of your own life. Examine your income and expenditures, your actions and reactions, your manners and attitudes, your obligations and decisions, and you will recognize that you have the situation you sought, and that you reap exactly what you sow. Do not appeal systematically to your spiritual friends with regard to petty everyday tasks. They are equally busy and confront problems greater than yours, and their responsibilities and more grave and immediate. Within the common struggles on earth, you would not have the courage to ask a generous and kind professor to perform the functions of a babysitter. Do not wait for death to solve the problems of life, nor claim sickness or old age as an excuse to stop learning, because we are all still very far from heaven. The grave does not bring a miraculous transformation, but opens a wider door to our own conscience. So after this message, which is, funnily enough, very similar to what this lecture is going to be about, we ask everyone to sit in a comfortable position and close your minds, close your eyes, calm your minds and your hearts, and leaving all the problems that we have behind, we get together to pray. Pray with brothers and sisters that are here together in Christ's name, feeling surrounded by our spiritual friends that are here, connecting with the music that we can hear at the moment, lifting our thoughts and our feelings towards God, our Heavenly Father, full of mercy and love, who gave us the opportunity of life, of being here in this planet, to evolve, to grow, with the many situations we have in our lives, good and bad. We also thank Jesus Christ, our bigger brother, our role model, who has been with us from the beginning of the evolution of this planet. It has been close to us over 2,000 years ago to give the true example of love and charity. We feel your presence in our hearts and all around us. Also through the presence of the superior spirits and the benefactors that are here, supporting us, inspiring us, and protecting us every day. Especially those who are in charge of the activities of this group here. We thank you for your presence in this moment. We also like to invite all our spiritual friends that are here just like us to receive these blessings through the lecture that Alcione is going to present us. Let all the good spirits inspire her in this moment. And let us all remain ourselves with positive thoughts and feelings, not disturbing the environment, so we can all benefit from the message that we are about to receive. Once again, we feel blessed. We feel grateful for the experience that we are about to receive. And we finally ask permission to start another Allan Kardec Spiritist Group of New Zealand lecture this evening. Thank you so much, so be it. So as was said before, the lecture tonight is about Spirit's influence and it's going to be presented by Alcione. All the best.
Good evening. Welcome everybody. How is everybody feeling tonight?
Great, thank you.
I'm asking the incarnate spirits. You can reply, okay? Good. Hopefully, in the end of the lecture, we'll be all influenced positively and we can live here better than we are now. That's our hope for tonight. And so Spirit's influence is a very important topic in Spiritism. And many times we study, we learn about, but it's something that we need to really pay attention in our daily lives. And we don't give much consideration to it in situations of our everyday life. So that's why we decided to do a little research and bring here tonight. And we mainly use the Spirit's book. There's lots of information about this on the Spirit's book. And a few lectures from Divaldo Franco, Haroldo Dutra, and Raul Teixeira as well. So, we know, according to Spiritism, that we are spirits in evolution. And we we have our individuality and our independence. We are responsible for our thoughts, emotions, behavior, and our acts. However, what influences a lot this freedom of us is a beautiful gift that we received from God, our free will. So we can see on Spirit's book that Kardec asks, has man freedom of action? Since he has freedom of thought, he has freedom of action. So the superior spirits tell us that we have freedom of thought, we have freedom of action, and we are individuals, so we have our own individuality. We have our free will, but here when we are incarnate and when we pass away, we do receive lots of influence from everything around us. And before check the spirit's influence, we're going to check the influence that we have of people around us, circumstances, and everything. So nowadays there is this term very popular, which is the influencer, which can be actually a job. Some people sell on YouTube or Instagram products, cars, makeup, shoes, everything. And they can sell ideas as well, courses, and everything else. However, we are also influencers. All of us, everybody here in this room, are also influencers. We don't get paid for it because we don't do as a job, but we always influence others. And others, because they are influencers, they also influencing us. And how does it happen? So let's give just some examples to understand that we have our free will, but we have lots of influence around us. In terms of family, especially in the childhood, kids, they receive huge influence from the parents because they are small, they are learning everything. So parents' responsibility as being the main influencers is huge. And we can tell the result of the influence many times in families where the parents are both doctors and all the sons and the daughters, they're all doctors. There are family of lawyers, of engineers, that's very common. And the influence mainly will come from the example of the parents. Sometimes parents will say something, my kid, don't smoke. But then the parent, the mother or the father, for example, smokes or does something that doesn't consider right. But if you're saying something and doing something else, the kids will receive the influence of the example. So all of us, we are influenced by our families. And even though sometimes we don't recognize, we might have something that we do exactly like our father or our mother or our uncle or someone else, because we all receive this type of influence. The other one, which is very common, is from the friends. So we receive influence from friends throughout our lives. But in the teenager years is the one that we receive even more influence from our friends. Some people will start, for example, smoking or drinking a lot because of friends, because everyone is doing it and then they have to fit on it. Of course, can be negative, but could be a positive one as well. Some people start playing a sport or playing an instrument, going to the church or doing some charitable work because of a friend. So we can tell that influence can be positive or negative. And lastly, but not least, we receive lots of influence from nowadays from TV and social media, computers, and everything that we read, everything that we watch, we are being influenced by it. When we watch some news that are very negative, sometimes we get impacted by it. And so that means there are influences, but we have our free will. And that means we can filter that and we can decide how much we want to be impacted by the influence. So we already talked a little bit about influence around us, of people, of things, and of everything that we can see that surrounds us. What about spirits? So we're gonna check if really spirits can or not influence our life. But before getting to it, it's important to check the definition of spirits according to the Spiritist terminology. So that's why Kardec asked the superior spirits, what definition can be given of spirits? Spirits may be defined as the intelligent beings of the creation. They constitute the population of the universe in opposition to the forms of the material world. So in the Spiritist definition, if we take literally the word, spirits will be the ones that are not here anymore, not in the material form. And the ones that are incarnate, they are called soul. What is the soul? It's an incarnate spirit. Sometimes we don't use exactly that way, but that's the way that Kardec told us. So if we're being very specific here in this room, we are souls, the ones that have the material body. And the spirits will be the ones that are intelligent beings, but are not in the material world at the moment. And the influence that we'll be talking about is the spirits, so the ones that are not here anymore. So it's very interesting how we don't see the spirits usually, right? Unless we are mediums, we don't see, we don't hear them, we don't perceive, with some exceptions. Some people are able to see, but not the majority. And then Kardec was curious to know, so do spirits see everything we do? We don't see them, but are they able to see what we do? And let's see the answer. They can do so if they choose, since they are incessantly around you. They are around us. But practically, each spirit sees only those things to which he directs his attention, for he pays no heed to those which do not interest him. So he's saying, yes, spirits, they are around us and they can see what we do. But they will be attracted to, they will be paying attention to things that they are interested. For example, spirits that when they were soul, when they were incarnate, if they used to, in their daily life, to do lots of charity, to have a good heart, to try their best to improve themselves, they will be looking here at those souls or incarnated spirits that are doing something similar, that have similar thoughts, similar idea, that enjoy that positivity and trying to be better. On the other hand, if a spirit here used to have ideas of revenge, ideas of jealousy, selfishness, and he used to not be so interested in improving themselves, they will be also attracted to us, to people that are on the same level, doing the same things. So the spirits will see us, but they'll be looking at the ones that have the same, similar vibration level. We're going to explain that a little bit further, but they were similar to them. And then other interesting questions. So spirits, they can see us, but they can also see our thoughts. They can know about our thoughts. So Kardec asked the superior spirits, can spirits see our most secret thoughts? They often see what you hide from yourselves. Neither acts nor thoughts can be hidden from them. So here, between us, we can't see each other's thoughts. We don't know what other people are thinking, right? Unless they tell us. But the spirits, they can see what we're thinking. They can see our thoughts. But don't worry, guys, it's fine. Don't be worried about that.
It's part of the program.
Yeah, that's okay. There is lots of hope coming on this. So they can see our thoughts, and that's how they connect with us. That's how they choose who to influence or how to influence, because they know what we think. They can see what we do, and they know what we're thinking as well. And on the top of it, Kardec went a little bit further and wants to know, so they see us, they know what we're thinking, so what do they think about us? What is their opinion? Do they judge us? What is like a soap opera? They're just watching and commenting? How does it work? So the question is, what is thought of us by the spirits who are observing us? What do they think about us? That depends on the quality of the spirits themselves. Frivolous spirits enjoy the little annoyance they cause you and laugh at your fits of impatience. Graver spirits pity your imperfections and endeavor to aid you to cure yourself of them. So similar to here in this planet, the imperfect spirits will be even happy when we don't do good. They can even laugh at us. Oh, this person is not doing well. And here as well, we can see some people, not everybody is going to be happy for us when we do well. But on the other hand, the superior spirits will always want what is best for us. They will be very happy when we do well. They will be a bit sad when we don't do well, and they will be trying to help. So their observations or their judgment will depend on the quality of the spirits. Because we need to remember that, just go back. We need to remember that the spirits, the ones that are not here anymore with the material body, they were here before, mostly. And they had different levels of evolution. There is this popular thinking that when someone passes away, they become saints. If you go to any funeral, it's always the person was wonderful, was kind, was the best, which is nice. Of course, it's good to say something good. But the reality is, when we pass away, we take with us our vices, our virtues, our qualities, and our weaknesses. We don't change overnight. If we are impatient when we are here, we pass away, we are going to keep being impatient spirits. If we are kind, we are going to carry with us. So, therefore, doesn't change just because we pass away. We just continue with our journey of evolution in a different state, in a different stage as well. So we know spirits can see us, they can see our thoughts, and they are observing us. But the central question is, do spirits influence our thoughts and our actions? And the reply is, their influence upon them is greater than you suppose. For it's very often them who direct both our thoughts and our actions. So sounds a little bit scary, right, that question? How come we have our free will, but they direct our thoughts, they direct our actions? So let's see a little bit further. That's okay, guys, let's just be with me. We're going to get there to understand how they can influence our thoughts and our actions. And so we talked a little bit that spirits are on different levels of evolution, similar to us. When we are here, we are in a different level of evolution. And some spirits, of course, will cultivate more vices than virtues, such as hate, jealousy, pride, selfishness, and the list just go on. And other spirits will, on the other hand, cultivate kindness, generosity, love, and have a more positive view towards life, more charitable. So there are different ones. And they will approach us, they will influence us according to our vibration level, according to our thoughts, according to our action, because they can see our thoughts. Remember, we just said that? And they can see what we do. And they will come influencing us according to our vibration level, being positive or negative. And the starting point for it is our thoughts, through our thoughts. And that's very interesting because it's an interesting way of doing it. It's a very clever way because we have, in average, 60,000 to 95 thoughts a day. That's lots of opportunities of influence, right? That's lots. We are always thinking. It's continuous. The way that our brain works, our mind works. We're always thinking about something. Even here, that we believe that most of us are trying to pay attention. At the same time, a thought should come maybe about what I'm gonna eat when I finish here. or what I'm gonna do tomorrow, what time I need to get up tomorrow, did I prepare my food for tomorrow? And then we always having thoughts, different thoughts. And the spirits, as we saw, they can see it, and they will influence us using the thoughts. That's the way that works. Let's just give a practical example, because that might be easier to understand and just to illustrate. And I'll give you like even a personal example. And sometimes if someone else gives a personal example, you can find something similar to you, you can relate, or find an example for yourself. Because the goal here as well, when we study Spiritism, is to try to analyze ourselves, try to learn with our actions and our behavior as well. So, a couple of years ago, I planned a trip overseas. Was it still possible to go overseas? Not like nowadays. And I planned to visit my parents and my little brother, that they live in Miami. And I was very happy. My vibration level was very positive, grateful, excited, so happy, because after all, I was gonna go and see my parents and my brother. However, 2 days before my trip, my flight got delayed. I received an email and they called me as well saying, oh, your flight is canceled, you have to rebook and wait 2 days to go. My vibration level went so from here to there, very negative. I was sad, I was upset, because I really want to go, and 2 days here in Oakland, do what here? And so that the vibration level changed, because we need to consider that sometimes on the same day, the vibration level changes a lot, can really vary a lot. So flight delayed, but then finally the day came, and again I was happy, excited, grateful, and all sorts of positivity, until I had a problem in the check-in. When I got to the check-in, they only gave me one boarding pass. They were not able to print both, because I had 2 flights to catch, and they said, oh, in your next stop, you get the other one. And then again, my vibration level was very negative. And usually when we get on this vibration level and something bad happens, and if we keep that, something else bad will happen again. Sometimes they say 3 times is a charm, but was only twice, thank God. So I was there and I couldn't get the second boarding pass, and I went to the security and I forgot my bag. I had 2 bags. I had one with me and the other one I forgot on the trolley, in the trolley of the airport. I passed the security point and I remember my bag, and then I asked the lady, she was very kind and said, okay, go back, try to recover your bag. And luckily, I did recover my bag. My vibration level again went up and positive. So I'm not sure if somebody had similar experience, but it's really hard in this planet of trial and expiation to always have a positive vibration all the time. We have challenges, we have circumstances, and even with our free will, many times we go straight to the negativity and we stay there until we are able to get out. Most of the time, hopefully, we are able to get out, but sometimes can be a little bit tricky. So one way of explaining and understanding it is the analogy of a radio, where when we have a radio, we can select the station that we want to listen. So there are stations that play classical music. There are others that play hip hop, and there are all sorts of stations. And with our vibration level, we can select, we can choose the station that we want to tune. So for example, when something doesn't go our way, and sometimes happens, right, in our life. Sometimes our plan doesn't work the way that we want. And it's very possible that we go to sadness, to fear, and fear many times meaning the lack of faith. We don't believe anymore. Anger, dissatisfaction, selfishness, pride, hate, and the list is very long. So we can tune to that radio, and it's our choice. Then we're using our free will. When when we are tuned to this, we can have some thoughts like that. I can't do it, poor me, I can't do anything right. And in this moment, when we're having the negative thoughts, what kind of spirits do we attract? The ones that have similar thoughts. Because the spirits, they are thinking as well. They have thoughts. So what kind of influence we receive when we are tuned with this type of radio, this type of symphony? So sometimes we may feel nobody likes me, I'm not going to work, nobody helps me, it's pointless. And then this influence may come in the form of, yeah, you're right, you don't deserve that. No, that's not gonna work. Yeah, that's right. Just, it's, in a way, the spirits can maximize, can add to it, can make it bigger and bigger and bigger. And it'll be up to us to wake up and switch and get out of this vibration. And it'll be sometimes that we can stay positive, but in our evolutionary level, it's almost impossible to be positive all the time. If someone in this room tell me that they can be positive all the time, it's really a saint. Not really a saint, but someone more evolved, because it's really, really hard, right, guys? So when we decide to change, that other type of vibration would be more of kindness, happiness, forgiveness, charity, humility, faith, gratitude. Gratitude is a beautiful station, isn't it? It's a station that really gives us energy, that gives us power. Faith as well. When we have faith, even if the situation is hard, we manage to believe that it's temporary, because everything here is temporary. All our little difficulties and challenges are temporary. When we have love, compassion is really important, because sometimes we are feeling, oh, poor me, why things don't work for me, and we forget to look around and see people that are in a much worse situation, and we are able to help them. But we are so focused in ourselves, in our problems, in our issues, that we don't look around. Gratitude, love, so this is the type of radio station that we need to do our best to be on this vibration level. So when we are, then we have this kind of thoughts. And for example, I have faith, I'll do my best, I'm brave, I'm grateful. And then what spirits will be near us? What kind of influence we can have when we are on this vibration level? So with really logic, it really makes sense how this works. But everything starts on the thoughts that we have in our daily lives every single day. So then Kardec understood that we all in this planet of trial and expiations, where we have more difficulties than facilities in a way, we already receive lots of influences, as we said, from family, from friends, from everything around us. And then Kardec was a little bit curious to know why God permits that imperfect spirits influence us. Because our life could be easier if we don't receive negative influence, because we have enough of negativity here. So he asked the superior spirits, why does God permit spirits to incite us to evil? So why there is that permission? And the spirits replied, imperfect spirits are used by providence as instruments for trying man's faith and constancy in well-doing. You, being a spirit, must advance in the knowledge of the infinite. It is for this end that you are made to pass through the trials of evil in order to attain to goodness. So it's for our own good. It's to test us. We need to remember that planet Earth is a school. We are here to learn. We are here to improve ourselves. It's not a holiday, it's not just vacation that we can just enjoy, it's to learn, it's to improve. Many times we forget about that. We just go on and on our daily lives, go do some work, do our activities, go back, sleep. But there is a reason why we are here. We are spirits in evolution, and the goal is to evolve. And so when we have this negative influence, is to test us, to see how much we are able to use our free will. And many times we're going to fail, but one day we are going to have success as well by practicing it. And so here explained really well now. I really like this part because it talks about God's justice, why he lets we have the negative influence, because here explains that when you act upon by negative influences, it is because you attract imperfect spirits to you by your negative desires. For inferior spirits always come to aid you in doing the evil you desire to do. But you will also have others about you who will try to influence you for good, which restores the balance and leaves you off your decision. So God allows these imperfect spirits to influence us, but at the same time He allows the good spirits to influence us. So that is the justice of God. So we have both. And then the decision is made by us. So in the end of the day, doesn't matter how much influence we have, we are independent and we have our free will. So again, it's the free will. No? Huh? So it's the sound effects we have here. Again, it's the free will. So God is so perfect, He's so good that He's giving us the opportunity to evolve. So we can receive the positive, we can receive the negative, and we choose, we make our decision. And the more we know, the more responsible we are for our decisions. So if we are studying here tonight, we are a little bit more responsible. So sorry guys, you came, now you know more, you're more responsible. And the more you come here, the more responsible. But that's better for us, because that's the only way. Sometimes we need to listen and to study many times the same topic until we really understand. And many times rationally we know, but it's really hard to apply. When it comes for us to apply in our daily lives, sometimes we can't do it. But the more we study, the more we're able to actually apply. And sometimes we may not be sure if the influence is positive or negative. Sometimes we have a big problem, a big decision, and we're not sure if what we're thinking is the right thing to do, if it's a positive or negative influence. So Kardec asked the superior spirits, how can we ascertain whether a suggested thought comes from a good spirit or from an evil one? And the answer is, study is quality. Good spirits give only good counsels. It is for you to distinguish between the good and the bad. And we have the capacity to distinguish, because we all have the divine law in our conscience. We all have that. Even though sometimes we pretend we don't know very well, we know what's right and we know what's wrong. So God gave this gift to us as well. We know how to judge that. So it's not so important to know if it's actually a suggestion or if it's our own thought, because sometimes we're not so sure. The most important is to distinguish what's the right and what's the wrong. And we'll be able to do that through the divine laws that we have in us. So Kardec was also interested to know, okay, there is influence, negative and positive, but can we just have positive? Would be much easier, right? Just block all the negative and let's all have only positive influence from spirits. Is that possible? So, can we free ourselves from the influence of the spirits who incite us to evil? Yes! The answer is yes. Good. Oh my gosh, so good to know, right? For they only attach themselves to those who attract them by the negative natures of their thoughts and desires. So, it's possible, but then we can't have any negative thought and negative desire. And we're not there yet. The reality, we are not there yet. But we will get there, and it's good to know that one day we are not going to have anymore the negative influence, only the positive. But Kardec wasn't very happy yet about it. So he had another question, a follow-up one. Do spirits whose influence is repelled by our will renounce their temptations? So if we don't want to listen to them or don't follow their thoughts, do they give up? What do they do? And the answer is, what else can they do? When they see that they cannot accomplish their aim, they give up the attempt. But they continue to watch for a favorable moment as the cat watches for the mouse. So if a spirit is trying to influence us negatively, but our vibration level keeps positive most of the time, we are trying our best, at some point they will give up. We become boring for them because nothing happens there. They just try and we don't care. We're not listening to them because we're listening to good counsels. They will go to someone else. They will do something else. So that's good to know as well. Again, depends on us. Depends on how we're using our free will. By what means can we neutralize the influence of evil spirits? How can we, again, kind of not have anymore the negative influence? By doing only what's right and putting all your trust in God, you repel the influence of inferior spirits and prevent them from obtaining power over you. So again, it's doing what's good, it's charity, it's love, it's forgiveness, it's cultivating the virtues. Because we all have seeds of all these virtues that one day will be fully developed. But when we were created simple and ignorant, God gave us the seed for all the virtues. And then we grow them slowly. Some people will grow them faster, some others slowly. Sometimes we're able to grow kindness faster than charity, and then we will all get there. So we all have this inside us. And one day we'll be able to get there, but not yet. I thought that was a very interesting way of understanding this too. An old Cherokee told his grandson, "My son, there is a battle between two wolves inside of us." Sometimes we feel that actually we're fighting with ourselves, right? We don't know what to do. And there is a real battle inside of us. So two wolves. One is evil, anger, jealousy, greed, resentment, inferiority, lies, and evil. So one is very negative, all the vices that we all have in different levels and different ways. The other is good. It is joy, peace, love, hope, humanity, kindness, empathy, and truth. So the other one is all positive, all lots of virtues. The boy thought about it and asked, "Grandpa, which wolf wins?" Grandpa replied, "Whichever you feed the most." So it's really our responsibility. What are the things that we spend time on? What are the readings that we do, even though people are not reading as much as in the past? What are the programs that we watch? What are the things that we follow? So how are our relationships? How much time we spend with people that we love, our family, our friends? It's really up to us. What are we feeding the most? Are we feeding the vices? Are we feeding the virtues? Are we feeding and are we paying attention in ourselves, doing our self-analysis and analyzing what we're doing with our day, what we're doing with our time. Because according to what we do, we are going to attract influences, positive or negative, from everything around us and also the spirits. And it's very important to remember our responsibility as influencers. Everything we do, our behavior, our thoughts will influence other people as well around us. So we don't get paid for this job of influencers, but our responsibility is huge because we are impact on other people's life and we need to pay attention to it as well. And I thought it'd be interesting to bring the best influencer of all time. That's the one that we should follow all the time. Sometimes we manage to follow, sometimes we don't.
What's his Instagram account?
Yeah, and Jesus.
And Jesus.
Instagram.
And Jesus forever.
Exactly. Over 2,000 years ago, Jesus was among us, and his influence is still going for all this time. So I don't think that is, if you Google best influencer, it would be like Cristiano Ronaldo, other people, but for us, Jesus is really the best influence, is the best example that we can always count on. If we follow him, we'll be doing the right things. So he told us, love one another and do unto others what we wish they would do unto you. If we only can follow that, and we know it's really, really hard, but that's the goal. One day we'll be able to follow. And when we're not sure, when we need a good influence, we can always pray, we can always remember Jesus and ask for advice and ask for his, try to be not on his vibration level, which is really high, but to try to follow his steps, to start following his steps. And before we finish, I would like to call Mani to play a song for us. We have the lyrics, which is about Jesus, which is about our relationship with Jesus, and we have the lyrics in Portuguese and in English as well. Do you want to sit here or there? You're okay there? Okay, no problem. So if you guys know the song, you can sing, no problem at all. And
I'll sing in Portuguese and then English?
yeah, Portuguese and then English. Okay? So do you want to film the...
Oh, I need to tune
Oh, yeah.
new strings.
So then after that, we will open the space for comments or questions. So if you guys want to talk after the music, the song.
Quando eu penso em ti, Jesus, a barra fica mais leve. Sei que tu andas comigo por onde eu for. É tão bom ter-te por perto, crer em ti me faz tão bem. Sem a sua companhia eu não sou ninguém. Mestre, amigo, estrela cintilante, mestre, amigo, guia nossos passos vacilantes, mestre, amigo, dai-nos forças para vencermos nossos erros e nos guarda sempre em tua paz. Jesus, when I think of you, my burden becomes much lighter. With you the road gets brighter wherever I go.
happiness grows when you're near. The faith in you makes me complete. There is no reason to fear, there is no defeat. Friend and master, you are a shining star. Friend and master, guide me so I know I will get far. Friend and master, give me the strength to overcome my mistakes. I'll keep my faith in you for as long as it takes. Friend and master, you are a shining star. Friend and master, guide me so I know I will get far. Friend and master, give me the strength to overcome my mistakes. I'll keep my faith in you for as long as it takes. I'll keep my faith in you for as long as it takes. Yay! With live music.
Thank you, Mani.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So now we open the space. If anybody has a question or a comment, now is the time.
Everybody's shy.
Well, I will have one if nobody wants to make a question. Well, do we have to be worried now, from now on, about this influence of the spirits? How important for us to know if this is our thought or is from a spirit's influence or from a spirit's thoughts?
Okay, so as far as...
Because I'm worried now.
Are you worried? So I think it was one of the Givaldo's interview. I'm not sure if it was him, but might be him. That the most important is not really to differentiate if it's our thought, if the spirit thought, but it's our decision, it's our free will. It's for us regardless, because if it is a good suggestion, if it's a good thought, and we do, good for us. We are doing it right, we are improving, we are learning. And if it's a negative one, and if we don't do, good for us as well. So the most important is our free will, is our choice. So regardless of what we do, the consequence will be for us. So the most important is really our judgment and our commitment to do better. Something like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and just a little bit on your question, your comment. It's to think like that, to have this idea that our thoughts are not hidden is a good practice for the spiritual life, because we are, as we are here, we are safe because other people that are incarnated don't see what we're thinking. But once we disincarnate and we go to the spiritual world, it's open.
We can't hide it.
So it's a good practice to already start thinking like that and to be not paranoid, but to be aware of how we think and how we especially feel with our thoughts. And because we can think, but if we feel towards that thought, it becomes even stronger as well. So I think that's a good practice to have, to know that in the spiritual world, it's open field, open web. There's no filters. There's no. Yeah.
Just complimenting Lucas, your question. I think we should be even happier or more, have more faith, because now we know we can receive positive influence. So if we want, we can connect to the spiritual plan, we can pray, we can do good reading, we can do our part. So I think it's really good for us to know, okay, there is the positive influence, there is the superior spirits that they want us to do good, they want to help us. It's just up to us to reach out. It's up to us to pay attention in ourselves and try to be on this vibration level, the positive one. Cool.
So I'd like to thank Alcione for the lovely
Very welcome.
lecture. And we go to the next step of our meeting tonight, which will be our vibration. We can do a little bit of practice what we talked about. One of the things that Alcione mentioned, it's important we can do is charity. And we know that through our prayers and the way we can wish well for all of those who are in need. After that, we will be doing our spiritual treatment as well for those who would like to receive it. Because we are doing the spiritual treatment as well, and those who are not here, if you like to finalize with your final prayer at home, leaving a glass of water there, we know that the Spirit is going to be directing this vibration to you all. And in saying that, we say farewell to those who are in our Instagram and Facebook as well. And we'll see you guys next week with another meeting, but just a study group. So we'll say farewell for you guys now. Thank you. And for all the